Alright, Nigeria. Please. Please don't get cooked. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do been to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Hey, another fun fact. Come on now. Come on. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what. I inhaled there, yet felt like I ran out of breath. But y'all know what time it is. It's blow up time peak every week. You know I gotta breathe you up for the one time. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time. I've felt like a pretty decent while. We are finally at the true start of the U20 World Cup. Now, there are two wolves fighting inside of Pencil right now. And a couple others, but I'd say mainly Pencil. In this context specifically, because I am Nigerian. Honestly, it hurt. Here. Let me level with y'all real quick. Let me just if I had a leveler, I would solo level right now. Still haven't read that manga or watched that anime or technically whatever it is. But regardless, I know Nigeria is going to lose. Let's not play these games. Not only do they lose the World Cup all the time in real life, hold on. In fact, I'm gonna just really hurt my heart real quick. Has Nigeria ever won the World Cup? No. Nigeria's national football team, the Super Eagles, has never won the FIFA World Cup. Let's see, the U20 World Cup under 20. No, Nigeria's under 20 national football team, Flying Eagles, has never won. So yeah, they've never won ever in real life. Let's be real. They're losing. I've accepted that. I accepted that before you even saw them. All right. But what I'm scared of, because I think it can happen, the main reason I think it can happen is because of narrative storytelling. But what I'm scared of is them not just losing, but losing badly. Because the thing is, this match realistically has two main goals. Meta-narratively and in-narrative. Little-narratively and meta-narratively. So really, it has four main goals. Meta-narratively, it is to cement the new levels and states of our Blue Lock cast. That's the main first goal. For everyone who was wondering, hey, how are we going to make these top 23 feel relevant? Hey, how are we going to make this whole first starting 11 feel relevant? How are we going to do that? That's what this game is for. It's to show off the starting 11 and really explain why, oh yeah, Blue Lock's going to be a threat, believable to us as readers. Number two, meta-narratively, it is to show that the world is powerful, but not insurmountable. Because obviously the big thing that has been built up meta-narratively is the idea that the world is big, bad, and dangerous. And obviously that's a little narrative as well. We'll get to that with little narrative goals. But the reason I want to say the world is big, bad, and dangerous, but surmountable, is because with the conditions set up with the start of the arc, essentially explaining that Ego will be fired, Blue Lock will be under Borutsuta's control, all that. Ultimately, now I'm kind of in the camp that Blue Lock cannot lose the U20. Where before I was a big Blue Lock, you lose the U20 kind of thing, and I still think it is a possibility. Where I was once 75-25 in favor of Blue Lock losing, I'm now 25-75 in favor of Blue Lock winning. So in that case, the world needs to be tough, big, beefy, meaty, juicy, but realistically surmountable, and Nigeria is the starting point, the setting up for all of that. All of that. So we run into this issue meta-narratively. Then there's the little narrative reasonings why I think ultimately Nigeria is set up to lose. One, because in narrative, in order for Blue Lock to progress, I guess it's technically meta-narrative as well, but in narrative, in order for Blue Lock to progress, they need to beat Nigeria, and they need to beat England. I'm not sure. I should have looked this up. I really should look this up. But I'm not going to look. Do I look it up now? Why? I got the goal right in front of me. In the group stage, do ties matter? I guess the question is, but no, I assume they go for penalties, right? I'm assuming once you're on the world stage, you'll go for penalties, right? So ultimately, Blue Lock has to beat two teams. They're only fighting three teams. So they have to beat Nigeria and they have to beat England. They're not beating France. If Blue Lock beats France, I will legitimately do a backflip into a pool. I will record it, genuinely. I will find a pool, I will set up a camera, and I will do a backflip into a pool if they beat France in the group stage. It's not happening. All right. Once again, another fate I've sort of kind of just accepted. But with that being the case, they need to beat two teams. Nigeria is one of those teams, and England's the other team. But ultimately, as crazy as it would be to have an insane high diff match, due to the meta-narrative stuff of setting up why this Blue Lock 11 is actually really dangerous, and obviously the rest of the 23 is really dangerous, we're gonna need to set up Blue Lock strong. And at least the way England has been hyped up in-universe and out-of-universe by y'all in the comments, I think if there's any match where Blue Lock's really gonna struggle but get a high extreme diff win, it's going to be the third match against England. I think France is going to blow their backs out properly. But I think this match, like in narrative not only needs to be won for the sake of Blue Lock to progress, which we know is going to happen naturally. We have to get to Nagi, we have to get to Sei. Ultimately, locking those two behind the actual elimination stage hard confirms that they're getting out of the group stage, no doubt. Obviously, we need the narrative to progress, but the other in-narrative reason that I think is set up for Nigeria to kind of lose is because I think Blue Lock needs to get a sort of rise before they fall, right? They need to do really, really well. Really, really well. Not only just to prove to the world that they're a threat, but to prove to themselves that they're a threat. Because it's the first time many of them are on the, like, the real world stage. Only you got to go and actually see the world a bit. And Leslie, I'm worried that Nigeria is going to end up being victims. And, like, I'm talking 4-1 victims. Because I saw a lot of people, and I'm assuming even Kaneshiro Sensei himself, is very sick of seeing and or writing 3-2s. The last games every single game we saw, except for I think one, because I think Manchan got blown out by a hat trick by Red and only scored 1 goal. But every single game in the Neo Aegis League was a 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-3, 3-3, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 32, 32, 32, 23, 23, 23. They were all that. Something tells me Kaneshiro's a little bored of writing that. And I've seen the fan base is also a little bored of reading that. So I would love to give Nigeria this super crazy high def game where they blow Blue Lock's backs out, and Blue Lock is first of all. I don't see that happening. I see Blue Lock being set up really, really well, getting a massive confidence boost, being viciously spread open, like literally Loki bending them over and spreading them open, almost getting an inverse of this game for the second match, and then going extreme diff with England with all the new evolutions on top of the evolutions they gained from losing to France and being Nigeria. So I, as your Nigerian content creator, very horrified and concerned for the fate of Nigeria right now. But I've yapped too long. Let me not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 313 of Blue Lock, known as Opening Warriors. Interesting. It looks like I wonder where they're from. I wonder what province they're from. Or which state. I can't tell by this background scenery. But interesting. So we have all these guys. These were the main 4 from last chapter, because this is the guy with the glasses. This is the guy with the buns on his hair, which he still has here. That's the guy who reminds me of Chappie from PXG, and this guy is the super wide eye open guy. Let's see. Go on, Anazi. Oh wow, do it, Anazi. A shining hope. I'm scared. I'm scared. What do you mean it's shining? Like y'all are comp, right? Please be calm. Please be calm. Please be calm. Let's see. Wait, what voice did I never got to voice these guys. I don't think I ever did, because I started calling Blue Lock way after the U20 ended. Hold on. Because these are the guys from the Blue Lock U20. I guess it makes sense, they're holding it in Japan in the Blue Lock facility. Let's see. Once again, I, Atsuto Teresa. That's actually Teresa? Teresa? Huh. Atsuto Teresa will be announcing this match. And I'm Natsuki. What can we expect from the U20 World Cup? Well, the fervor for this opening match is incredible. Let's review the regulations for this tournament. First, 64 countries are divided into 16 groups of 4, which will compete in a round-robin style, and the top 2 teams in each group will advance to the next round. Do you see exactly why I said Japan needs to win this match in England? We're not... Another thing I will do. I will literally find the hottest pepper within reasonable driving distance for me to get my hands on, and I will set up a camera, devour it, and then forcefully slow drip myself any milk to save my soul if Blue Lock gets eliminated in the group stage. And be like, Pencil, these are insane bets and bargains you're making. And I know you're only saying that because it sounds insane, because it is insane, but you also know I'm so confident in making these statements because there's no way Blue Lock loses in the group stage. Right? Right? Like, I'm setting these up. No, I'm making these binding vows knowing that the conditions will never be met for them. I'm sorry, playing on right now. But that's the thing. With how it's set, but ironically, it is very Neo Aegis League coded, in the sense that, like, before the games have even started, I and many others have just flat out predicted how it's going to go. Now, of course, we could be wrong, but we can't be that wrong. And that's the same thing with the Neo Aegis League. I called the 4-game narrative structure of Isagi and Kaiser teaming up. I got details of that wrong. Just as many others called it. I say I called it just because I made videos about it. You can go back and fact check me. But I saw many other people in the community at the time, before the Neo Aegis League really got underway, calling out. Some people, I even saw people call out who's going to score what goals typing. And obviously, at least for BM, it was pretty obvious. It was a little debatable for the other team, but even then for the other teams, it was kind of obvious. Of course, Baro was going to score 2 goals. Of course, Rin was going to score 2 goals. Ruin was going to score a goal and Shield was going to score a goal. Of course, Bachiro was going to have to score a goal. Like, obviously, certain things were obvious. Reo and Shigiri, Nagi and Shigiri, they also had to score. So, like, a lot of it was predictable. But And obviously it's the execution that carried that predictability. Same thing here. I'm hoping the execution saves the fact that obviously Japan is going to beat Nigeria, lose to France, beat England. Like it has to. If it doesn't go that way, then I don't know what kind of show Sensei's cooking. In a good way. But logically speaking, based on how the narrative's been set up, I have no idea how else this could go. Does anyone, like, and the thing is, I do wonder, because I haven't even seen any dissent to this idea. I remember back when the new Eagles League was still coming out, there was heavy dissent to the idea of Kaisagi ever teaming up. Like, that actually becoming a dynamic duo, there was heavy disinterest against that. So, like, I remember actual refutations against that. But for the whole idea of beating Nigeria, losing to France, beating England, in that order, because that's how the matches are set up, we have the order of the matches and everything, is there any of y'all in the comments who even doubt that? Like, sure, we may have disagreements about the details. I've heard some people saying that Isagi may go crazy this match. I've heard some people say Rin may be carrying this match. I've heard people say that Karasu may be cooking. Like, I've seen all different types of who's going to cook. But in terms of the macro narrative structure of who's winning, who's losing, who when, to what, it's like the whole community for once is in lockstep, which is so rare, which is kind of a neat thing to experience. But at the same time, gang, that's me so scared for Nigeria. Please don't get blown out. Let's see. And the top 2 teams in each group will advance to the next round. That will leave 32 teams in the final tournament, including the playoff match for third place? Oh, I guess, yeah, because you would kind of need a third place. So I'm guessing the losers of each top 2 play each other? Is that the third place one? The playoff match, I'm guessing? Interesting to set that up. I mean, obviously, it probably just happens and follows U20 regulations. So, who's the top 3? Well, it has to be Germany, Japan, and France. Whether Japan wins or Japan loses, they're in top 3. Germany has to be in top 3, and France also has to be in top 3. Like, there's no way with Loki. There's no way it's not. So that's probably the top 3. So we may get a match between one of those 3 and some randoms. But then again, I doubt we'll see it because I still think Japan's going to be they're going to be the final match. Whether they lose or win the final match, that's another thing. But they're going to be the final match. Come on now. Let's see. Also, during the that will leave 32 teams in the final tournament, including the playoff match for third place. There will be a total of 128 heated matches in this new era, which is genuinely insane. Let's see. Also, during the matches, players are permitted to wear the simultaneous interpretation earbuds developed by the Mikage Corporation and utilized during the Neo Eagles League. Okay, that's good. Honestly, I actually do wonder that. In real life, I mean, I know English is like the common ground language that a lot of nations do speak because it's pretty I think it's still... Hold on. Luckily enough, we do have the Googler. What is the most commonly spoken yeah, it is English. It's English. I figured. Hold on. Let me just complete the search. What's the most commonly spoken language? Yeah, it's English, Mandarin Chinese, and then Hindi. Okay. All right. But yeah, English is the number one spoken thing. And notably, at least for a lot of African countries, especially on the West Coast, English actually is the national language. There are a bunch of traditional languages, but notably English is still the main language there. And I know English is taught in a lot of places, like almost everywhere. And I think about it, it is, if it's not the first language, it is the second language. I think in like South America, in the Eurasia area, obviously English is also common in just some English countries in Europe, including the England. Australia, main language is English. So like English is pretty much universal, but at the same time, it does make me wonder, how does that go in the World Cup? Like, do you even talk smack to somebody if they all don't speak the same language? Do y'all just be throwing insults and hope the inflection gets across? I don't know. But obviously, these direct translators lead to more heated and more direct and without having to worry about the language barrier, which I'm fine with. Notably, I can take a little bit of that super technology. Why am I lagging? Yeah, I'm strong lagging too. Hold on. There we go. Please. Okay, yeah, there we go. But with it being the case, I think it's a good thing, and it does make you wonder. I wonder if we're ever going to see someone like either to focus or to rage. I wonder if we're ever going to see someone pop them out. Like say the trash talk is getting so strong on one end that someone literally reaches into their ears, pulls out the buds, either like pockets them immediately or crushes them in their hands, and then just starts speaking their native tongue and just goes wild with it. I mean, that'd be cool. I'm not sure who would do it though. Like on Japan's team, maybe Baro. I bet not Shido. Like I don't know who would do it on Japan's team, but it'd be interesting if one of the other nations was like, nah, I don't even want to hear you. Or even if at the start of a match, as like a sign of disrespect, they're like, you have nothing of value to say to me, and pops them out. If a whole team did it, that'd be like real extra. Where a whole team is like, I have no reason to communicate with you. and just pops him out and keeps it. Obviously, I think it'd be like bad, like unsportsmanlike conduct, and probably would get in trouble. But still, regardless, it'd be an interesting plot point to where they couldn't understand each other. Though once again, they're teams against teams. It probably wouldn't matter too much. Let's see. I can't believe it's starting. It's finally starting. This is awesome. Let's get pumped. I'm getting pumped too. Why are you built like Boruto now? I look at you. Let's see. Now then, carving out the future for Japanese soccer. There it is. Of the new chapter of Blue Lock Warriors. Let the U20 World Cup begin. Japan versus Nigeria. Who has the kickoff? Ooh, Nigeria has the kickoff. All right. I would have been neat to see the coin toss. But let's see. Ren and Isagi leading in. We have Yuki. How do I say his name? Oh, so he's the captain. All right. So the captain is presumably one of their forwards, I'm guessing. Nigeria captain. No. Offensive midfielder, Kusa. Do they not have last names? Why is his name just Kusa? I mean, like, Agi didn't have a... Did Agi have a last name? I don't think he did. Hold on. See, this is what happens when I start with the Google in front of me. I just be Googling everything. Hold on. Agi, Blue Lock. Did he have a name? I guess maybe last names aren't as common for the other... But we had but then again, they were major characters. Yeah, his name was just Agi. So, yeah. Nigeria's gonna be fodderized, aren't they? Oh, they're gonna be fodderized. Okay, but let's see Yukimaya, or should I say Kusa. Ooh, and I don't know, man. I love that black ball. The black ball glows so crazy, and it acts as such a fantastic contrast to pretty much the rest of the story up to this point. I don't ever remember them playing with the black ball before. Let's see. Nigeria captain, offensive midfielder, Kuso. He's getting 2v1 by Isagi and Rin. Hits him with the schmicks? That's kind of crazy. The schmicks into the... Now, wait a second. No, hold on. Don't give me hope now. What is this? He actually... Oh, but it was Isagi's ankles. But, like, it was still Isagi's ankles. And this does make me wonder. Did they review any tape? Do they know anything about this team? Or is Isagi really just free-blowing it? I should not have said it like that. But is Isagi really just, like, wilding right now? Is he like, man, I don't even need to study y'all. I'll learn on the pitch. I do genuinely wonder that. Obviously, for a character like Rin, it doesn't matter. He's very much adaptability on the fly. He'll discover, and then he'll adapt accordingly with his genius-like abilities. Someone like Shido doesn't matter. Someone like Baro probably doesn't matter all too much. But for basically, I want to know if there was a crew meeting with our Metavision users. I'm talking Isagi, Aiku, Hiyori, Karasu, Rayo. Like, did they all sit down and just watch Nico? Did they all sit down and just watch film and be like, all right, so this is their pattern, this is their pattern, this is their pattern. Okay, so we do this, so this. Okay, so if this happens here, you'll step up like that. You'll do that. Especially considering all 6 of those players are on the pitch right now. We're like, when you think about it, we are more Metavision users on the Blue Lock 11 side than we are not. Because we have Isagi, we have Hiyori, we have Rayo, though whether or not he's developed active Metavision is unknown, but presumably that he did. We have Nico, we have Aiku, and we have... I named 6 already. Who's the 6th person I'm forgetting? Please! Brain, please! It's the 2 defenders, the 2 midfielders, Isagi. Who am I forgetting? The 2 defenders, which are Nico and I know some of y'all are looking at me right now and like, Pencil, are you an idiot? And the answer is yes. All right, let me be. But Aiku, Nico. Oh, I'm so stupid. It's the 2 defenders, the 2 midfielders. So Aiku, Nico, Rayo, Karasu, and then Isagi and Hiyori. For some reason, my brain is like midfielders, defenders. Hiyori is the left back. No doubt. So like, we have 6 Metavision users on this 11-man team. If they did not sit down and study tech, bro, I'm going to be so mad at them. But at least Isagi's opened up getting his ankles shattered. All right, so let's see. Sometimes. Wait, well, you know what? Admittedly, because my West African accent just isn't that diverse, I'll still just give them unique voices. Especially considering they're all being translated by the Mikali Corporation. I won't give them all. I think maybe I'll just give the main guy. Or whoever. Because notably... It's funny, I don't actually think of voices in my Nigerian accent. It kind of just pops out. So whenever I speak like this, it is a change of inflection and how I replicate all of my different words. But when I'm trying to force it out, it is a little bit different. I need to get comfortable with the role a little bit. So I could say shortest, fastest, best answer. And it will come out like that. And I think I may try it because I need to practice my accent a bit more. It disturbs my family, by the way, because I was raised in America. Naturally, I do have this natural voice that I do have just because of how I was raised. So whenever I am visiting my family, I'll typically speak like this at first and then switch to the Nigerian accent, which always disturbs them because it doesn't sound right. And notably, I mentioned this before, I sound more like my uncle than I do my father because my father's Nigerian accent is watered down heavily versus what it originally was. So I link my accent to what I heard of my uncle speaking because it's the pure accent, quote unquote. So if the inflections sound completely different, if it sounds a slightly deeper and off-brand or even a little bit higher depending on what words I'm saying, that's why. Because it's literally nowhere near my own biology. I could mimic my father's voice, but once again, it's a weird watered down Nigerian accent, which I don't like to copy all too much. Let's see. Shortis, fastis, best answer. Oh, okay. So he did not only break Isagi's ankles, but then he sent the ball through Rin's legs. Reo whiffed the block too. Okay. But Bachira here on the recovery. Ha, right there. Oh! I mean, this is only the first chapter. It's only the first chapter. But don't be giving me hope now. Okay. So far, they low-key straight running and violating the entire, well, not the entire, let's see, how many players we got past so far. So, Kuso broke past Isagi and then Rin in a simple 1-2 schmicks combo. Then, accidentally got, or not even accidentally, but blitzed right past Reo, passing to seemingly nobody. Bachira goes to intercept the ball, but then Bello, typically 2 L's aren't pronounced as a Y in Nigeria, as far as I remember. Let's see. Right midfielder. Right there. Taps the ball. Immediately spins around. Okay. Nice twirl. Rapid attack. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. It sounds too weird trying to like shift in the accent. So my bad. Let's see. That pass was too sloppy. Actually, you know what? I will admit that this section right here is also kind of a gamble when you look at it. Because he does pass to nobody. Bachira could have gotten that ball. But I guess he had faith in Bello, who came in, got the ball, and then just sent it... Oh. Nigeria forward. Okay, so they only have one forward. So this guy's an offensive midfielder, but he's not a... the Onanzi is the only forward. Okay. Nah, it's all good. Since if you don't get your All Might... Hold on. You ain't, I mean, it's not like All Might's the only one who says I ain't, but like, Onanzi, if you do not get your All Might, I don't know. I ought to reach into this manga and smack you, bro. But interesting and concerning. What do you mean by that? Let's see. No, it's all good. Since I'm here. Come on. Oh, okay, maybe you want it, but the let's see. You know what, let me give it a little more time. So we open up, we get past Rin, Reo, Bachira, Ryu, but Aiku's here for the schmicks up. Alright, let's see. Since I'm here. Come on, Captain. Alright, Aiku. Nice flexibility, buddy. You're open. There! Oh, wait a second, what? Did he even land? Hold on a second, Onanzi. My boy. I know this is just like typical Blue Lock time, but it looks like he leaps up here, traps the ball. He may have landed. In fact, it looks like he... No, honestly, I can't even tell if he landed. It looks like he traps the ball, sends it up back into the air, sets it up for the landing direct shot? Or not, I'm not sure if it's a direct shot once you've trapped it. But essentially, like, darn. You're open. There! Okay. Nico? My apologies, my boy. I was not familiar with your game. Alright, on your Lorenzo type timing, my boy. I see you. So... that actually is still pretty impressive. Obviously, Nico was there as the last defensive line and presumably blocked it so Gagamaru didn't even have to interact. But, still very impressive, right? So these three broke through basically all of Blue Lock's defenses in a moment, only to be stopped at the last second. Meaning they had pretty good offensive coordination so far. Especially considering Aiku didn't even really get to do all too much. He showed up to get in the way of the shot, but he didn't get in the way of it perfectly. In fact, it looks like Onanzi still would have shot right past Aiku. Like, in this area, he even did. He shot to Aiku's left, even though Aiku got in the way and body blocked him. So at least from this angle, it looks like Gagamaru's right here, and then Aiku's right here, meaning it looks like Onanzi should have no shot path, but he still shot it anyway, meaning that technically they did break through, but I'm guessing Nico was either here by A, just straight reaction, or B, maybe they've seen, like I mentioned earlier, the idea that the Metavision users sat down and studied film, studied tape, and was like, okay, they're gonna do this. Nico, be there, just in case. I'm assuming what Nico did here is a little similar thing to what Isagi does, except when Isagi does it offensively, Nico did it defensively. He hid in the shadow of Aiku, right? Ultimately, everyone else that was interacted with so far was pretty head-on in their interactions with Nigeria. When it's Kuso charging in at first and getting double-teamed by Isagi and Rin, he breaks around Isagi and then immediately passes through Rin's legs. Very direct, very upfront, very clear-sighted. When Botcher's about to get the ball, it's Bello who comes in, snatches the ball from him, and then twirls around him and gets past him in order to move forward, passes it to Anansi. Anansi is right. Well, actually, no. Anansi actually did an Isagi-type tactic, too, hiding in Ryu's shadow, considering Ryu's focused on where the pass and where the ball is, but Anansi is focused on where the ball is going, gets the ball in midair before it can even reach Ryu, and then is intercepted by Aiku. But note how you don't see Nico here anywhere, presumably because he's hiding behind Aiku. Aiku technically does body block not only the goal here, but body blocks Nico, so Nico can come out the cut from behind. And look at this, even look at where the angle he comes from. He looks like he came from behind Aiku in order to block this shot with his face. So we got technically two versions of slipping into the shadow. So Anansi slips into Ryu's shadow in order to get the ball, and then we see Nico slipping into Aiku's shadow in order to block Anansi. So all right, it's looking pretty intense. I'll fill in any gaps. That's a must when exterminating Nico, what do you mean by that, Nico? What do you mean by that, Nico? Nico, what do you mean by that, Nico? What'd you call him? Nico, what'd you call him? Nico, you have a bad track record, my boy. So far, I don't remember you saying vermin once in the entire Neo Aegis League. You know, the last guy you called a vermin? It was Shida. And while he may not actually be of dark in complexion, he's just very tan. Nico, why are you 2 for 2 on calling people of darker complexion vermin? Nico, I know you're 15. I'm a full grown man. I couldn't do anything. But Nico, watch yourself. Watch yourself, buddy. I swear, if Nico, because obviously I still think they're going to beat Nigeria, but if Nico is in the England game and blocks a shot and doesn't call somebody vermin, or someone of a certain complexion, vermin, I'm done, Nico. I'll cancel you right now, Nico. You haven't even gotten anywhere, but I'll cancel you right now. You gotta be careful, boy. Don't make me reach into this manga and beat you. Man, I won't even beat you with the... I take the hilt. Not even the hilt. This is the hilt. I take the scabbard. I beat you with the scabbard. Boy, watch yourself. Don't play these games with me, boy. Calling them vermin. That's a step one. That's a must when exterminating vermin. All right, Nico. I know what you are, Nico. I know what you are. Don't think you just because you're flexing your forehead and your eyes for the first time in forever doesn't mean that you can talk smack like this. Nico, you ain't slick. I know what you are. Don't play these games with me, boy. Let's see. That's a must when exterminating vermin. Wowza. Now then. Oh, okay, so we really are. We straight schmoving. So Nigeria starts the attack. They get most of the way through it. Get shut down by Japan's defense at the last line with... Well, not the last line. The last line is Gagabara, but right before the last line with Nico. It took how many attackers? It only took 3. Because it took Kuso's initial attack. Then it took Bello's secondary attack. And realistically, Bello really was a transition piece. He got past Bacho, but then immediately passed it. Meanwhile, Kuso had to break past Isagi, then break through Rin and Reo, technically, both at the same time. Meanwhile, Bacho is here and gets quickly swirled around. I'm assuming naturally Bacho's going to get his lick back on Bello. There's no way that Bacho, the twirl ball controller himself, manages to not get his lick back against him here. And notably, he doesn't even seem mad. He's like, oh, nice. Clearly you know ball. But you don't know my monster, though. So obviously Bacho's going to get his lick back. And Anansi almost finishes off with a goal, but it fails here. And then immediately, pretty fast, in fact, how does that even work? Let me read this. So Anansi is just outside the goal box. You can see here, because this is the I believe, gosh darn it, this is the goal box itself. He's outside of it by a decent margin. So he was really risking that shot. That was from super long range that he was trying to shoot from, because he's outside the goal box entirely. But then the ball bounces off Nico's face. Looks like it does a... What would be the angle here? It bounces off, goes that way, goes to the left. But Karasu's right there. And who are these guys? Actually, I don't know. This doesn't look like Bello or Kuso. So I actually do wonder who these guys are. I mean, I guess they could just be more offensive midfielders, but interesting. Karasu was the one to jump up and grab it. Let's see. Now then, let's get going. Blue Lock 2.0. Once again, everybody's trapping and firing immediately. Counterattack right off rip. Wow. Wait. Hold on. We gonna get big. What did they say? Whoa! They've turned the tables. Pretty quick, too. Pretty quick. All right, let's see. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. The ball goes to Yo Hiyori. Hiyori, it's time to cook. Hiyori, I mean, like, remember how I was just worried about Nigeria? Forget about it. Hiyori, it's time to cook. Hiyori, we need you to prove. Well, obviously, personally, I just think Hiyori's built like that. But I've seen a lot of people be like, Hiyori's low-key on fraud watch until they perform some Ubers tier feats again. Especially how with how Isagi was talking to him 2 chapters ago. But I personally don't think Hiyori's on fraud watch. But hey, Hiyori, you gotta cook right now, bro. Not just for me, but for every single one of your doubters, dog. You need to fry him up right now. Let's see. The ball goes to Yo Hiyori. I was about to make a joke how Hiyori's half a brother, but apparently I forget if it was confirmed in a fan book or like an extra background novel or something. Maybe the same thing that confirmed that Hiyori's into the things that most people typically aren't into, and it's actually kind of crazy because what it implies about Hiyori. But, well, actually, no, unironically, Hiyori's interest in... Can I say it? Like, I feel like it's now common blue lock knowledge because somehow undercover information about these characters gets like fandom osmosis to doom and despair. But Hiyori has a thing for girls who may not have free range of motion, let's say. Yeah, he's into that. Now, notably, that unironically fits into his super sadist personality more than anything else we know about the character. Everything else we know about the character doesn't fit that thing at all, but him being into women without a full range of motion, that tracks if he's a little bit freaky like that. And supposedly, he's super freaky. He is a super sadist after all. But, with it being the case, I do hope that this man gets the cooking. But notably, no Metavision so far. Isagi wasn't using Metavision earlier. Nico's not using Metavision. Aiku's using Metavision. So, honestly, with none of our... Let me see. Isagi's not using it, right? Let's see. Yeah, right here at the start. He's just in base. If I had to hazard a guess, I don't think they watched ball. I don't think they studied... I think they're free balling it. Because I'm guessing the reason they aren't using Metavision right now isn't because Nomura is too lazy to draw it, but because they don't have data yet. So they're currently gathering data on how to predict these players. And ultimately, that is something I was wondering, and I hope doesn't continue to be the case. Like, I want our 6 Metavision users to Metavision up and gank somebody with just sheer team knowledge. Because right now, it's looking like they're all just doing this in base, which actually is only a demerit for Nigeria even more than I think about it, because if none of them are using Metavision, it means none of them are taking it seriously. Please, Nigeria, put up a fight. Let's see. Time to reflect. With just a few touches, they made it to the front line. What the? How? Karasu passed the ball once to Yori. And Yori he trapped it and immediately sent it. And Kuso's right here. Wow, they already made it to the front line. Let's see. Rin, forward, Rinitoshi. Rinitoshi is slipping past one after another. Oh, this is the fourth guy from the flashback. Let's see. No way. Gonna stop you. No, how do you get fried so fast? No. And you know why I'm sad? You can't see it, because I see how OBS is doing it. What do you mean Rin just triggered flow instantaneously? That is not even... Yo. How? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, what? Okay. Rewind. Well, hold on. It's a little bit toasty. If you can tell why I'm wearing a tank top right now, it's a little bit toasty. So let me take a sip as I process the insanity that just happened in these like 3 pages. Make sure you stay hydrated, folks. What on earth? How far did Karasu pass that darn ball? Because they were right outside the goal box this page, and then that 1, 2, 3, 4 pages later, Rin's in firing range, and Anazi's back to block. Hold on. What? Now let me clarify something. I don't know ball. And thank you to everybody and their mama who was explaining to your boy who didn't know ball in last review how the Japan Blue Lock formation not only has been used before, but like it lines up with ball and the different tactics and how flexible. Thank you for everyone to explain to your boy who doesn't know ball a bit of ball. So, this is me once again reaching out to y'all. Am I lagging again? I am. How does this keep... I'm literally... Sorry. But, ugh. Take me back. I wanna go back. Take me back. Okay, we're back. But, for all my ball knowers in the comments, one, I'm literally almost tempted to refresh the page because I'm that convinced I'm missing a page. But notably, typically whenever I'm missing a page, like I'll see an in-between page. So I don't think I'm missing a page. I think it just happened this quickly. Is this like physically humanly possible? 2 players touched the ball and Hiyori didn't even move. Karasu, presumably while still in the backfield, clears the ball. And notably, let's see where the ball is. So the ball's all the way here. Right outside the goal box, right? Because that's where Nico stops it. He's just inside the goal box. He blocks it with his face. The ball gets to Karasu's feet. Karasu beams it to the heavens. So I'm guessing the ball made it to half field. Hiyori touches the ball once. Sends the curve immediately afterwards. Rin breaks past. So this gets past 2 defenders. So let's assume. Actually, maybe this makes sense. Maybe I'm just underestimating like the power on these boys. Because let me think. Ball is at bare minimum just outside the goal box. Karasu may be like somewhere in between the goal box and the midfield. As they say immediately, with just a few... Well, no. They say they just a few touches made to the front line. So, Karasu is presumably like some distance away from the goal box. He beams it over. Hiyori gets it. Hiyori's probably at midfield. And then immediately one tap booms it to Rin, who's possibly halfway down the field already. Rin breaks past 2 guys. Okay, so he does break past 2 guys here. He dribbles past the one guy with the back tackle, and then this other guy with another slide around. Then he gets there. Then how do I say his name? Obo Abana, Nigeria defender, Obo Abana. He gets to Obo Abana. Obo Abana says he's going to stop him. And then Rin locks in to flow instantaneously and already fires. So, yeah. But I mean, how fast is Anansi then? Because, like, well, then again, maybe I'm overestimating the field distance because it all happened so fast. I'm actually kind of blown away. But let's see. So Anansi is not in the goal box. He's actually not really near it. So let's see. He's all the way back here. So he's presumably, gosh darn it, I should have this memorized in my dome by now. But let me see. Football field. Football field. Let me just take a look. Football field. Okay. Actually, let me do soccer field. It's gonna show me American football. Soccer field. So let me just see if I'm calculating this right. Okay, it may be more reasonable than I'm thinking. I think it may be more reasonable than I'm thinking. Unless I'm like so this is what it's looking like. This is what I'm getting. So I'm assuming. Hold on. We gonna get. In fact, yeah, we gonna get real meta here. So let me lean in. Let me make sure. So I'm assuming, right? Hold on. Let me see if I can angle this right towards the camera. Shout out to the camera. Actually, picking up the quality half decently. So I'm assuming Anansi is right here, right? Like he's right outside the goal box, right around this area. He goes to shoot right around here. The ball gets deflected off of Nico's face, just barely in the goal area, right? Barely in the goal area. He's like right inside of it. Ball bounces off. Let's say Karasu's somewhere like around here at this midpoint. Karasu beams it up to the midfield. Hiyori's in the midfield. He taps it, traps it, and immediately sends one of his crazy Itoshi level crosses over to Rin, who's probably somewhere around here or here in the center field. Then Rin does get past 2 people, meaning he'd probably be nearly right outside the goal box. And then finally, it is Rin who goes to shoot it, presumably right outside the goal box. In fact, let me see where Rin is shooting from. It looks like Rin is shooting from... Let's see, he gets past these 2. He goes up to Obo Abana. And I actually can't tell where he's firing from. I don't see the ground markings. I doubt he's in the penalty box though. So maybe this play is just entirely feasible, but I don't get it. My main question is, I'm guessing Anansi immediately just like after he missed the shot, in order to make it here to defend this, in the like I can't assume this interaction actually took that long, considering how few pages it is and how quickly it was maybe four taps, because it's the initial, so it bounces off Nico's face. So by this point, after he says wowza, Anansi has to be on the ground sprinting back already, right? Because then Karasu traps it, and then immediately launches it. He doesn't even hit the ground before he sends it flying. Hiyori traps it, lands, and then hits it with a lefter. So that's probably like 5 seconds at most, considering that Kuso doesn't even reach him in time here. Kuso's here, but you don't even see him in this shot when Hiyori sends the cross. Rin gets it, seemingly traps it. Oh no, looks like from this, Hiyori sends the cross. Rin traps it with the outside of his foot, rotates around this defender, who actually looks kind of familiar for some reason. Rotates around this defender with the inside of his foot, or possibly the outside of his right. Or at least, no, it looks like he did it with the inside of his left. And then runs into Obo. I don't know why I'm struggling to say this guy's name so much. Obo Abona. So he runs into him versus immediately fires on him. Doesn't even hesitate and immediately booms past him. So literally the second he had to land, Anansi had to make it all the way back here. Kind of insane, kind of concerning for a couple of different reasons. But the main thing that's worrying and horrifying, yeah, base Rin can pretty much instantaneously enter flow. Now, this doesn't seem to be Destroyer Rin at all. This just seems to be like a base flow Rin. But considering how cracked base Rin was already, the fact that he can instantly trigger flow for a shot like this, Predator Eye flow instantaneously, a little too cracked. Please calm him down already. But, let's see. Yikes, that's a sick curve. It's all good, since I'm here. And he stops the ball. Whoa, Anansi stopped it. Hold on, let's see. I gotta make it bigger. Why was he over there? Such crazy momentum. Both teams are walloping each other with magnificent preemptive strikes. This opening match is a desperate collision of two powerhouses. Alright, let's see. No. Oh, they're cooked. They're cooked. Oh, no. Oh, I can already see the purpose of this. Okay. We're only one chapter deep, but I'm kind of already going in the Doom remote. And let me explain why. Because not only is this the end of the chapter, was this chapter? I think it's just because there were a lot of double spreads in this chapter. Were there even a lot of double spreads, or am I tweaking? Let's see. How many pages is this chapter? Chapters 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's count the double spreads as one page for now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is a 16-page chapter. But that makes sense, since I believe 4 of them are double spreads. 1, 2 double spread, 3 double spread, and then 4 double spread, 4 double spread, 4 double spread for the 20 pages. Yeah, 4 double spread. So that's why the chapter feels a little bit quick, because it has 4 double spreads in it. And thusly, it goes pretty fast. And obviously, this is just like a high-paced, high-momentum chapter. So naturally, it's going to go pretty quick. But I think we've kind of already been spoiled on why Nigeria's going to lose this match. It's this guy. And you'd be like, huh? Pencil, he's sort of hard carrying right now. And that's the issue. I'm lagging again. Why am I lagging again? Okay, at this point, I'm just going to get a different camera. This is actually genuinely absurd. There's no reason I should be lagging this much. Please, plug back in. I'm at the end of the... Don't worry, you're not going to have to do too much recording, gosh darn it. And here's the thing. The thing that gets me so much about the lagging of this camera in particular is that it is so random. Sometimes I've gotten through entire hour-and-a-half recording sessions and it's not lagged once. And other times, it'll lag with just this. There's nothing else running on the camera. There's nothing else running on the computer. It's just this. The CPU is running at not even 1% of its full power. It's not even at... It could go Super Saiyan 2 right now and still technically not be at 100%. Why are you lagging so much? But with that being the case, Isagi says, no, I've already transcended them. Just crazy, that's insane. I can see a vision of our victory. So, let me explain what I see that Isagi probably sees. And I think a lot of y'all probably see too, considering the narrative of Blue Lock as a whole. Anansi, from the very start of the chapter, is described... I kind of said the naive Anansi. Like you know he's going to be a fodder character if even the lead striker can't get a last name. I think every... Well, actually, Lorenzo didn't. No, Don Lorenzo. Don Lorenzo had a full name, and he was abandoned by his parents. Agi didn't have a full name. Then again, he wasn't the main leader of the opposing team. Batra did. Well, actually, I'll say it. Batra didn't have any like real characters outside of Lavahito. Same with Pixie. They didn't really have like a lead Pixie character. So it's just a conditional thing. But Nigeria's just gonna be fodder here, unfortunately. And here's why. If you can tell from the start, not only did the main four seemingly, the four who got names, all right, the rest of the team is absolutely fodder. They're never going to be relevant. So these four, which are going to be our main four that we're going to follow for this match, 3 of them have their full absolute faith in Anansi. And notably, the All Might references with Anansi. And obviously, I'm not even sure if it's like directly an All Might thing or just, I am here is a common phrase you say when you are, in fact, in a location. But note how the narrative is sort of setting up this team. They all feed into Anansi, and Anansi feeds back into the team by backpacking them. Even Ryu points out that pass was too sloppy. Now, of course, Ryu may not know because he's not Metavan user or anything like that. But it seems like the only reason they went with that kind of pass, went with this kind of structure, is because they knew Anansi would be able to get it. He'd be able to reach it. He is their shining light. He is their guiding path. As he says, no, it's all good since I am here. And that's on the offense. And then, of course, back on the defense, their striker, their forward, blitzes down the field at light speed on some Loki-type timing and says, no, it's all good since I'm here. So, what's the issue? What's the problem? What's the main thing that's going to lead to Nigeria's downfall? They could legit, and I mean legit, Kunigami that man. I'm talking PHG Shido Kunigami that man. They could either dedicate someone who's currently on the pitch or swap somebody off and just put Kunigami in and say, hey, Kunigami, breathe down that man's neck. And then they're cooked. Because at least from what it sounds like, or at least what it seems like, of course, it's just the first chapter, so I may be reading this wrong, but I'm assuming what Isagi sees and what I'm seeing, based on the fact that he's the end of their offense and their defense. The rest of their defense was genuinely fodder. The goalie was not going to save this shot from Rin. The only named defender, Obo Abana, was not going to stop Rin at all. In fact, he literally got blitzed. I mean, it's Rin, but still, he got blitzed by Rin. All of them are relevant. It is only Anansi who finishes defense and offense. Meaning, if you remove Anansi, they're cooked. The reason why Blue Lock works is because almost everyone, if not everyone, can score. You fall asleep thinking, okay, I've locked down Rin Isagi, and Chigiri's charging up the right wing, switching to the left and scoring with the Panther side. You think, oh, it's just Hiyori. He's one of their midfielders or right or left wing back. Shock horror, Hiyori hits a lefty shot and scores on you. His legs are kind of long. What's he doing all the way up here, and why is he scoring? They have so many different options. That's the main thing about Blue Lock. And obviously they have 2 forwards, Isagi and Rin, both capable of scoring in a variety of different ways. But also, they have a solid core structure regardless. Notably, for once in a blue moon, it was not Isagi or Rin or either of the forwards who came back to do the defensive play here and forced Nigeria on the defense. It was Nico. It was Aiku, it was Ryu, and it was Karasu. They're actual defensive characters who did something to stop the Nigeria attack. Who stops the Nigeria attack? The Nigerian offense. And this is why I feel like, if anything, Anansi and Nigeria are going to be a cautionary story to the whole idea of the one true hero, the one true guiding light. Very similar, like I mentioned earlier, to the All Might thing. The issue that All Might kind of had in My Hero Academia is that since he was so strong, since he was so powerful, since he truly was the symbol of peace, everyone else kind of got a little bit lazy. They're like, well, everything's going to be fine. We got All Might. Who needs to worry about anything else? We're here. We'll do our jobs. We'll collect our paper. We'll do what it be like when it be like that. But honestly, it doesn't really matter all too much. It's light. We got Big Might. And that led to the hero generation being a whole lot relatively weaker. So when the villains actually clap back, they clap back hard. And in this context, Japan is the villains here. So with Anansi being their sole guiding light, if that light gets snuffed out, either by somebody man-marking him to doom and despair, or him simply being overwhelmed by Japan's endless offense and solid defense, oh no, the rest of the team's kind of fodder. But of course, this is only the first chapter. Maybe that isn't the case, but the main thing that has me concerned is that Nigeria's defense couldn't do anything. Could do genuinely nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And of course, they're going up against Japan, the all-striker team. But still, they could do nothing at all. They did really, really solid on offense, I'd say. Once again, having to be stopped by Nico, who was the second to last line of defense. But defensively, they were basically irrelevant. And this is round start Rin. Round start Rin. And look at where the ball is. I would not be shocked if Isagi opens up next chapter scoring. Look at where the ball is. Look at where Isagi is. He's already figured them out. And Metavision's popping out. And he's got Metavision out. He's probably going to start cooking them. And I think that's going to be the thing of this match, right? If each match is going to continue to teach our main cast something, I think this match is going to teach them on the dangers of overly relying on one person. And really, if not teaching them, the Blue Lock crew, that, because they already know it, which is definitely debatable, they probably do know it to a degree, reinforcing the idea that the strongest striker alone cannot carry an entire team. Soccer is still a team sport at its core, and thusly the whole cast and crew cannot rely on one character. Isagi cannot grab the narrative by his ankles, slam it on his back, and keep it put. It just can't happen. He needs other people there. He needs other supports, such as the rest of the team. Same thing with Anansi. He alone cannot carry an entire team. Well, no, it probably isn't just the strongest striker, because he himself is super duper strong and powerful and potent. He also has just a solid team behind him. Same thing with Blue Lock versus Nigeria here. And notably, it's unfortunate, but I think, especially if we're going to do the idea of this in a negative way, I think France is going to parallel this in a positive way. I simply think Anansi will not be strong enough to carry the entire Buns team he has on his back on his own, but we're going to see a certain striker of extreme power, extreme speed, who performed a very similar feat to Anansi in the past, appearing from nowhere to block a ball that was going right up in as a crazy point. I think a certain Lokester is going to have, if not a Buns team, like seemingly Anansi has behind him, at least a half-decent team and a real good passer, a real good facilitator in Charles, and show how a striker and midfielder duo, or a striker and midfielder with half-decent team behind them duo, can dominate in the way that Isagi would want to, or Rin would want to, or Bara would want to. Ultimately, we're probably going to see Nigeria as the failed concept of what France is. And ultimately, I could see, especially after a high diff, or no, after possibly blowing Nigeria's back out, I could see how Blue Lock would get a little bit of an ego that needs to be knocked down. That's going to be there, a little bit of ego, but a little bit of an ego that needs to be knocked down by France, coming in and giving the back shots. So ultimately, just off this first chapter, not only do I think Nigeria is digi-destined to lose, I also think they're digi-destined to lose pretty badly. Like, I see this ending as a possible 4-1. Maybe a 5-1. 5-2? Maybe. The only way I could see it changing is if mid-match, Nigeria realizes that they can't just rely on Anansi. But then again, they were the champions of Africa. How they, like, I guess Africa just ain't comp, bro. Just ain't comp. Because how they not realize this already? The idea that they can't simply rely on one man to do everything for them. I guess they never faced enough comp before. But I'm assuming the only thing that'll happen is that mid-match, they're gonna have like a sort of U20 match revelation where they're like, we simply are not enough as we are now. We need to evolve. We need to try to take over and help Anansi beyond what we've been doing so far. We need to level up for him in order for him to shine brighter than ever. But even then, they're still gonna lose, no matter what. So, in the end, a worthy chapter. Extremely. How is this chapter so fast paced? I'm still been here for doing that. But I'm sorry. But it's still a really, really good chapter. I like how it sets up. And honestly, if I'm already making this hefty a narrative call out from round start, that just goes to show how well everything has been established. and notably, it all comes down to the idea of just because I predict it doesn't mean I'm going to get the execution right. I still don't know what the score of this match is going to be. I still don't know who's going to score. Though ultimately, with this framing right here, I feel like Isagi's about to score the first goal, possibly in the second chapter, which would go absolutely insane and be the fastest a goal has ever been scored in like any of these serious matches of the narrative since like pre the selection stuff or post selection stuff. But so I'd be down for it. But if you made all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave bald man. I don't know why he just popped up on screen, and I just want to say leave bald man. So random. Leave bald man in the comment section down below. And then thank you so much for watching. So just leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a picture down below or use one me for as well as one. Get them on. Things, exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, then become a member of the channel for as well as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include live reactions, the series I'm to review, ad variations of all my videos, and if you come and show it on Patreon or $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, a link to my Ko-Fi down below. You can drop 5 beats for short videos, 25 beats for long video, or any beats at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I would like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, Zera, Brendan Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis 97, Zachary Wilson, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, G Prosper, Swift Strike, Alexicon, Striker Man, and Autumn Mornings Lazo.
Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art patrons, Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members, Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members, J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And a final gargantuan thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin's wife. Not Calvin Elder, who ultimately does have one of my kidneys, but now I must know, and I must undergo the process of getting this second one removed, so I can send the other over to this wonderful family.